What is going on, guys? My name is Dustin. Welcome back to the channel. It is the end of February, so we're going to go ahead and get through the monthly pickups. Now, let me say, I thought February was going to be a slow month because there was only like really a couple movies coming out that I really wanted. And yeah, so there ended up being a sale, and I took advantage of that from Arrow Video. Plus, I had reward points, so like I really only shop boutique labels if I have like reward points and they have a sale, because some of that stuff gets really expensive. So we're gonna go ahead and start with like the pop culture things like Funko Pops. I don't have any Funko Pops this month, but however, my wife and I were in Walmart and the thing came out. But I found this. This is from Culture Fly. It is called Nook, and you get these and they just go right in your shelf. They look really cool. So I got the Pennywise one. He looks fantastic on the shelf. You can see the details. Actually pretty nice. These things are only like 20 bucks. They have these things called 3Ds, which are like 3D VHS covers. Little more expensive, and they're, I don't know. For the size, I really don't think they're worth it. But then again, I really haven't seen one out of the package to know if it's really worth it. The only one I was interested in that was the Friday the 13th Part 3, obviously a 3D movie. Yeah, it just sits right on the shelf, and it looks super cool. So now let's go ahead and get into the books. This first one, this is a Book of the Month pickup, and there wasn't anything that came out last month that I was like, or for the month of February, that I was necessarily interested in. So I decided if there's a book that I'm not going to be too into, I'm going to let my wife pick, and she picked this book here. It is called Ready or Not by Cara Bastoni? I have no idea. This is a love story. You know, my wife likes reading books like that. My wife will read like a pretty wide variety of things, but she's been wanting a good like romance book, and she chose this one. She read like the first two chapters maybe. Just hard to find time to read when you have a baby. I'm still reading the same little heaven book that I started at the beginning or like the end of January. I still haven't finished it, and we're already at the end of February. So like, getting a little behind on my reading, but I'm busy at work. I got a promotion. I'm now the store manager, and it's just been super crazy and hectic. And yeah, so my wife picked this. Not really anything I'm interested in. However, I will say the cover of this book is absolutely gorgeous, and I think it's going to look good on her shelf. So yeah, she picked Ready or Not. And then this is a book that came that was on my book wish list on Amazon, and somebody ordered this. They didn't put a thank you note in there. If it was one of you watching by chance, thank you. I have no idea, but we got Thinner by Stephen King, and for a King book, it's actually not a super big book. I think it's like 342 pages, which I mean isn't bad, but like I'm used to like bigger Stephen King books. However, I'm really excited to read this, and there is a good reason why I'm excited to read this, which you will see in just a moment. So, Thinner by Stephen King, paperback. Super excited to dive into this one. This is my next read, so I cannot wait for that. So we're going to go ahead and get into the movies that I picked up. And some of these were gifts. Like I said, there was a sale. Also, I got a box from my friend, the horror collector guy on TikTok. He doesn't have YouTube. I want to thank from him, and what I got is super, super cool. So let's go ahead and start with, I guess that. I'm just going to pick them off the shelf. So this was in the giveaway. I won 2 items from him. One, Alien from LA. This is a Vinegar Syndrome title. I'm getting really into Vinegar Syndrome. My only thing is there's just like not a whole lot on there that has like really interested me yet. I'm still very new to them, and I really only ever buy from them if they have a big sale, because I can't justify, you know, as the physical media collector I am, sometimes I just can't justify the prices, because to me, like, I get it, you know, being a boutique label, I understand, but you know, I don't know. But this was one, and these were sealed. I did open them up tonight just to kind of check them out. But we got Alien from LA, Vinegar Syndrome title. I did some research on this one, and it looks pretty interesting, so I cannot wait to watch it. And then the big thing that came from him, the Vinegar Syndrome Lost Picture Show box set. This thing is thick. This is full of 10 movies. There's 10 movies in here. And they're all movies that were lost media, that are really old, that maybe only had like a short theatrical run, that never had any sort of physical releases at all. I briefly watched an interview with the guy that works for Vinegar Syndrome that kind of helped do this. And this took them, like, I think they said like around 10 years or so to like do this, almost a decade, which is absolutely crazy. There's one in here that is like a pre-slasher is what people are saying. So the movies are Barbara, The Las Vegas Strangler, Last American Hobos, Voodoo, Heartbeat, What's Love, Beware Black Widow, Deep Inside, Rare Blue Apes, Red Midnight, and Violated. So in here ranges movies from, like I said, from pre-slasher to like a kid's movie, a family movie, a scare film, like a propaganda type film, and then like some adult film as well. So like it's a very wide variety. This is definitely not a box set that a lot of people would be interested in. You really have to enjoy, I think, a certain type of cinema to find enjoyment in this box set. And it's a pretty pricey set. Well, I guess for the price, I mean, you get 10 movies. And I mean, like this box set is just gorgeous. It opens up. I can't show you the actual like slipcovers or anything because YouTube. But it opens up, and you get a slipcover with you get a case with a slipcover, a booklet, and 5 movies, and then you get another one over here. So the case, the slipcover, the booklet, and the 5 movies. So pretty cool box set. Like I said, this thing is absolutely beefy, and this just really ramped up my Vinegar Syndrome collection. So these next 4, these were gifts. So I have a friend who is getting into streaming, and I helped him set a bunch of stuff up over like Snapchat, which was insane, and these were gifts from him. So the first one being a movie that I absolutely love, and I honestly feel like this is one of the best horror anthology films of all time. When you have Tom Savini doing the makeup and the special effects, and you have Stephen King writing and George Romero directing, let me tell you, this is a fun, great time. And if you are a fan of horror, you are definitely a fan of Creepshow, no doubt. This is the 4K Steelbook from Scream Factory. The Steelbook itself is okay. I mean, I definitely like the front. The back is okay. The inside artwork is kind of where it really shines. I kept the J card. I folded it up and stuck it in here. But yeah, it's a pretty cool Steelbook. I really like what they did with the 4K slipcover, but I'm always down to add a Scream Factory Steelbook to the collection, and shout out to him for hooking it up with this. So thank you. You're awesome. And I just don't like to mention some names because I just don't know how people are with, being mentioned on the internet. And this was a super heavy Scream Factory haul. Next up, The Town That Dreaded Sundown. This is the one from 1979. I know they did a remake, and this also comes with a movie called The Evictors. So you get The Town That Dreaded Sundown on Blu-ray and The Evictors on DVD. So it's kind of like a 2-disc set, which is pretty cool. I did watch this, and I liked it. Super good movie. The remake was pretty good too, but I definitely like the original. Next up, we have The Darkman 4K from Scream Factory. Liam Neeson playing, I guess, like a superhero, anti-hero. I don't know what you would really classify him. This movie came out in 1990, and it is 90s cheese to the max. The special effects, just everything. My wife watched this with me, and she was like, what the hell did you just make me watch? I was like, Darkman. I really enjoyed it. This movie is such a good bad time, or such a bad good time, I'd rather say. Like, it's one of those movies. It's bad. It's awful, in the best way. Like, it's so bad it's entertaining. Like, it's definitely worth a watch. But I like bad movies. And then what makes me really excited about that Stephen King book is Scream Factory actually put out Thinner on Blu-ray, and the slipcover is gorgeous. To be completely honest with you, I'm not super familiar with the movie. I've heard of the book. I never knew there even was a movie. I don't even know if this has... Oh, it does have... Well, not really reversible art, but just has like a enlarged image inside. And I want to definitely read the book before I watch it. So I have not watched this yet, but it is on my list after I finish the book, which hopefully I can knock out pretty quick. Next up, my wife and I were in Walmart when I got the Nook, and I was there to pick up another movie that I knew was out, which I guess you're going to see last just because of where it is in the pile. And I came across this. This movie was $15, and it's called Your Lucky Day. And this stars Angus Cloud. If you watched Euphoria, he played Fez. My wife watched Euphoria. I watched like bits and pieces of it with her, but I did enjoy the show for the most part. And Fez was my favorite character. And it's a shame that he sadly had passed away in real life. And, you know, he never really got to see his acting career take off. I don't know if this is the last thing he's ever been a part of, but at the end of it, they do kind of have like a little tribute to him, which was pretty cool. But basically, this movie is about, you know, these people that are in this convenience store. This super rich guy comes in, wins like $156 million from the lottery, and shit just gets crazy. Needless to say, the rich guy is unalived, and things start happening because people want this $156 million. Definitely a great watch. For $15, you really can't go wrong. I really liked it. Next up, this was picked up at the beginning of the month. This was a movie, one of the ones that I was like interested in that I knew was coming out, and that is Silent Night. This is a John Woo film, and it's kind of like John Wickish, but if you know anything about John Woo, they're like over-the-top action movies. Super fun. Now, this movie got an unbelievable amount of hate, and I understand why. I'm not going to say this movie's bad, but this movie's not perfect by any means, but I still enjoyed it, and it's definitely a movie that I can find myself watching every once in a while because it is fun, and it is pretty intense in some moments. However, some of the special effects with like the gunshots and stuff are kind of cheesy looking, kind of like, I guess, super fake looking in a way. But again, it's really not a bad movie. I found this to be a pretty okay time. These next 6 movies are from Arrow Video. So Arrow Video had a big sale that ran from like Valentine's Day, from like the 14th to the 16th or something. And I had reward points, so I saved a ton of money, and these were already super cheap to begin with. So let's go ahead and get into these. First up here, we have Slugs. And all these are ones that I've been wanting to kind of pick up for a while. I just prioritized other Arrow Video titles over these, and they just kind of came on sale at the right time. Like super, super cheap. When I say cheap, I mean like dumb cheap for Arrow Video. So this is a movie about mutant slugs. I mean, what more do I need to say? Look at that artwork right there, right there. First time I saw it, sold. Did research on it. I was like, absolutely, yes. And then my friend, the horror collector guy on TikTok, we've talked about it. And he's like, dude, that movie's great. You're gonna love it. So, super happy to own Slugs. Next up, a movie that I've been wanting to pick up for such a long time, and that is Chud. So I've only ever seen bits and pieces of Chud. I've never watched the movie from start to finish, and I'm super excited. Obviously, cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers. Again, one of those movies from the time that's just like, it's just going to be stupid fun, and I'm really excited to check it out. I obviously switched the reverse. Like, this is the alternate art, so I went with this art. My wife actually picked. Next up, we have Society. This is another one. By looking at it, I was like, I need to know more, did research, and knew that this movie was going to be right up my alley. Apparently, this is like one of the most, like, I guess, like, intense body horror movies, and I'm pretty excited. Again, need I say more? It just looks gross, and I cannot wait to check it out. Next up, this is one I'm really excited about. This is called The American Horror Project, and this is Volume 1. So this comes with 3 movies. You have Maltesta's Carnival of Blood, The Witch Who Came from the Sea, and The Premonition. And these are all movies, from what I gathered, that were put out around, like in the 70s, like late, early to late 70s, early 80s, that just did not... They just got overshadowed by like all the big movies like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Night of the Living Dead and things like that. And all of these movies look really good, and I'm really excited to dive into these, especially the Carnival of Blood. It just, like, from what it says here, like, it just seems like something that I'm going to be like, oh my god, like, it seems so good. So American Horror Project Volume 1. It all comes in one case, but they're 3 separate discs, which I do like. So shout out to Arrow Video for doing that. Next up, we have a movie called Raging Fury. This movie has 2 titles. So there's Raging Fury, but it's also known as Hell High. Again, another one that I've been looking at for a while. And I guess like this is the original artwork for the movie. So I don't know. It's a cool slipcover. I really like it. Definitely going to be watching it. And then we have the 2009 remake of The Last House on the Left on Blu-ray. The slipcover is gorgeous. And I remember this movie. I probably have not seen this movie since 2009. But I remember this movie being absolutely brutal. And I'm going to revisit it. This is probably like, out of all the movies I got, this is probably the one that my wife will actually watch and not like judge it super hard. But I cannot wait to check this out. And then last but not least, the movie that came out this month that I was the most excited for, and my wife and I had to watch it the day that I got it, and that is The Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This is a prequel to the Hunger Games movies, and I actually have up there the Steelbook box set from Lionsgate, and this was the Lionsgate Walmart exclusive Steelbook, which almost kind of matches that box set up there. So I'm really excited, and let me tell you, this movie, it exceeded all the expectations that I had. My wife and I were kind of a little like, about it because of it being a prequel. We never made it to the theaters to see it, but I've heard nothing but good things. My wife more so was like, why the hell are we getting a prequel? I don't want to, I don't care. I think it's going to ruin it. But she actually ended up really liking it. This movie is phenomenal. This Steelbook is absolutely gorgeous. Highly, highly recommend. This actually, like, watching this made us want to go back and re-watch the Hunger Games movies, guys. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys are brand new to the channel. As always, I'll see you later in another video. Bye-bye.